Alrighty. Hey. How's everybody doing? Just getting set up here. Hey, thanks for joining. Just getting set up, getting all my devices going. It is Wisdom Wednesday, and I know we are right before the holidays, so I'm going to make this quick. If you guys have questions as you're watching the live, just go ahead and drop them in the chat, or you can DM me if you don't want to drop your question in the chat, and I will DM you back. But today I wanted to talk about the importance of marketing the results to your ideal client. And by results, I mean the results of working with you to your ideal client. So, again, please feel free to drop your questions or comments into the chat as I go through the live. So, guys, let me just put it out there. No one cares about your product or service. They care about the result, how they will feel, how their lives will be transformed. That's really what they care about. They don't necessarily care about the actual product and the service itself. So think about when you go to purchase something, right? You're not buying it necessarily because of what it is. You're buying it for what the product or the service can do for you, right? So, if it is, I don't know, body cream, you're buying it because you want to be silky, your skin to be silky smooth, right? Or if it's like a new dress, you're buying it because of how it's going to make you look, for that special occasion, or if you just want to, a dress for every day. Um, or if it's coaching services, you're buying it because of the result. What are you going to get as a result of going through this person's program, X, Y, and Z, right? So think about yourself when you purchase things. You're not buying it because of really what it actually is. You're buying it because of what the result is. And so that's how you have to think about your particular products and services when you're putting it out there for your ideal client. So let's talk about the top 3 reasons why you want to focus on marketing the result and not the actual product or service. And so the difference in that, let me just be clear, is you're posting your product or your service. Like, here's my organic shampoo. And you just keep posting pictures of organic shampoo and conditioner. Like, that's all you post. $9.99, however much it costs. I don't know, I'm making it up. But that's what you post versus like, here's a video or testimonial from my client showing like how by using this shampoo maybe their hair grew or it got rid of their dandruff problems. Like, that's kind of showing the result, right? So top 3 reasons why you should market your results versus just the product or the service itself. The first reason is that it builds the know, like, and trust factor, right? People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And so by them seeing the results, it builds that trust up with you so that like they know you're a person that they can trust and people are actually getting the results that you're saying they're going to get, right? You're showing them the receipts, which is what they want to see. Um, the second reason is because it makes it more tangible for your ideal client, right? They can see themselves in the transformation. So you saying that you're going to change someone's, like, I use the mindset coach example a lot because mindset is intangible. Like, I can't touch my mindset, right? But there are things that happen if I have an elevated mindset. So you have to do a good job at marketing those results of having, let's say, an elevated mindset or a positive mindset. Maybe I'm able to finally land my dream job. Maybe I'm able to move states. Maybe I'm able to live in another country. Like, it's a complete mindset shift. Things that seem impossible now become possible. So, what does that look like for your ideal client? And third, which is probably or possibly one of the most important reasons why you want to market your results, is because it is a community effort. It builds community, right? We are doing things together, meaning you're succeeding together. You're not alone. There is strength in numbers, but it's even greater strength in community, right? So, we all want to see each other win, and nothing is more powerful, I feel, than that. Seeing each other win and being able to lift that person up next to you up and say, "Oh my gosh, we're doing this together. We're achieving this thing or getting these results together." So, that's why I think it's really important to market the results over just posting your product and service over and over again. And recently, this past week, I did have a workshop called Find Your Unicorn Factor. And this kind of all ties in to having a cohesive marketing strategy for your business. But your unicorn factor basically is your differentiating factor, right? It's what differentiates you from your competitors, right? And being able to clearly communicate that, clearly demonstrate that will be key in order to attract your ideal client. And so, one of the things that you want to consider when you are thinking about your unicorn factor is, what does your brand do well? What does your competitor do well? And then, what do your ideal clients want? Those are the three questions that you want to ask yourself as you are thinking about what your unicorn factor might be and how you can communicate this to your target market, right? So, unicorn factor and then magnetic messaging, right? That's another hey guys, thanks for joining. That is another piece of why you want to communicate the results to your clients versus just the product or the services, right? Magnetic messaging, it really, I mean, it means what I said, like meaning you draw your ideal clients in like a magnet, and you being able to communicate how you're different from your competitor, how you do the thing that they're seeking, will be extremely important in whether or not you are actually making sales, right? Because if you put someone's products and services right next to each other, how do they decide one or the other? If it's technically the same thing, how do they decide which one to go with, right? So let's say, for example, you're a social media manager and you're marketing yourself as someone who manages social media. Literally, that could be like hundreds of thousands of people right now on the internet. So why would I go with you over someone else? And that leads me to, and I know people might say, well, price, right? So that leads me to the third piece of value-based pricing, right? And I talked about this earlier, maybe it was last week. A week's running together, y'all. Um, Last week, having those three things together, but with your value-based pricing, it's not just about being the cheapest or the most expensive. What are people getting for the price that you're charging, right? Of course, you want to check and make sure that your pricing is in alignment with the industry, but depending on what value you're providing with it. Oh, thanks, Tashia. um, the value that you're providing, right? Your price may be a little bit higher or maybe it's a little bit lower. I can't tell you that. You would know. Oh, guys, I'm getting a call. Let's see. Hopefully, can you guys still hear me on IG? I lost IG. Can you guys hear me? IG, can you hear me? Still there? Last time that happened, I think my audio cut out. Anywho, let me know if you can hear me on IG. I lost my train of thought. That call completely messed me up. Okay, so ideal client. Okay, yes, I was talking about the unicorn factor, value-based pricing. So like I don't know necessarily like what the value of the product or the service is that you're going to be providing. But you would have to know, like, okay, I'm including this, and this. This is why I'm different from this person in my industry. They only do this, but my services and my products include this, and that's the charge, right? Also, pricing is just more than what you do. Of course, it's like your expenses, and you got to factor all that in. All that goes into the math, right? So that you don't cut into your product margin. But most definitely, you need to come up with what I call value-based pricing, so that you can ensure that you are providing the product and the service that your ideal clients need, but also that is processed or priced correctly for the services that you're providing. IG says I'm frozen. Oh no, still frozen? Let's see. Uh-oh. Okay, so with that being said, guys, let me just recap the top 3 reasons why you want to market the results versus just your product or your service. The first one, building the know, like, and trust factor, right? People can see the receipts, they can see the results, right? They want to be able to see that before they can make a purchasing decision with you. The second would be it becomes more tangible for your ideal client. Tangible meaning they can taste it, they can touch it, they can feel it, they can smell it. Not necessarily in the literal sense, but they can see themselves or envision themselves with that transformation. It's not some abstract concept. I always use mindset because it's like a quick example that everybody gets, right? People know that mindset is important, but it's like what how do you communicate to someone that because you had a negative mindset you weren't able to do A, B, D, C, and D, right? Like, what can you do if your mindset is elevated, if your mindset is positive, or if you are in a higher statement of or higher state of self-awareness, right? Through mindset. And then lastly, it becomes a community effort when you communicate the results over just the product or the service, right? So um, it creates that community vibe for both your for you as well as your ideal client. So they are able to see themselves in that transformation. There's strength in numbers, even greater strength in community. Like I said, we all want to see each other win, right? And so, a better way to do that is when you have folks in your community together. So, I'm going to pause now for questions. Questions. I think I may still be frozen on IG, so I'm going to start the live over. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions? Does anybody have any scenarios they want to drop in the chat? Maybe of where they were having difficulty communicating their results, or maybe not sure how to do that with a live example. Anybody? Okie doke. I don't see anything in the chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and end everything out. Apologize to my IG peeps. Got a phone call and it cut the live out the first time. But do you have any questions in regards to marketing results over your product or service? You can send me a DM on Facebook if you're joining me on Facebook at I Simply She, or on Instagram at I_simply_she. You can DM me personally at Crystal Renee. I'm on all handles there: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you guys want to book a brand strategy session, the link to do that is in my bio on IG, and then in the description of this live if you're on Facebook. So hopefully that's been helpful. If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays to all. And I will see you all later. Take care. Remember, you too can conquer if you slay hard every day. Bye, guys.